Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of OneMicNite Talk. We're so glad you could join us. If you haven't already, please make sure you skip on down, like the episode, and make sure you click the bell because you never know when we're going to drop another episode, and follow us. For all of you who are listening on the audio version of this podcast, you can now watch it on YouTube, of course, and do the live chat with us on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or you can now watch it on Spotify or Anchor FM. Get into it, right? My name is Marcos Luis. I'm an actor and filmmaker, and I'm here with one of my lovely and talented co-hosts.
Yes, Ashley Elizabeth Green. What's good? What's up?
Before we get started, I have to say Liz couldn't be with us today, so please make sure you join us for the next episode, and you can follow her at Liz Menezes Music on all digital platforms. Also, make sure you download her music.
Yeah, her bossing over is amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
It's amazing.
I think we should add some to the podcast. What do you think we should add some to the podcast? Let's add some of her music to the podcast one day.
We really
so everybody can hear. Yeah, let's do it.
To her music. I don't know. I noticed like shower time is really like my more meditation time. And I'm one of the people, I hate showers. I love a bath, but I noticed like shower's been really great, and I've been listening to. I meant to text her like, "Hey, girl, I'm listening to you while I'm in the shower."
I'm telling you, she's on 3 of my playlists, and I play it at work all the time. It's like
the
most chill music.
Lovely.
Yeah, it is.
It's very lovely.
But listen, don't get it twisted because she does rock in Spanish too, and Espanol.
Yeah,
and she does some, a lot of different R&B. She does everything. So
no, she does.
List,
My favorite of all music, and I think people don't probably know this. I think bossa nova is number 1 and jazz is number 2.
Yes.
I love me some bossa nova. But she would be very proud of you that you did her last name so beautiful. She would be so proud of you. Wait till she see this episode. She's gonna be like
so happy, right?
So you said it like a flow.
I sure did. But see, I had to think about it before I said it.
But even with you thinking about it, it was so great.
Right?
Because I know when I think about it, I still like
mess it up. I know.
Yeah, I still mess it up. And it's so sad. It's so because it's a beautiful name.
It is. It is.
Right.
Well, shout out to Liz. She'll be with us on the next episode. So guys, make sure you join us for that.
She's hustling, getting that money, vacation
getting
time.
That money. That's
Hot
right.
Girl summer costs money.
That's right. And she's the one. What's going on with you, Ashley? How you been? We haven't had an episode in a while. We've been busy.
I forgot it's summer, and it's been summer for a month. I've been hustling. I've been writing. I've been like planning things. I've been saying no to a lot of things.
That's good. Per our episode. We talked about that.
I've been saying no to a lot of things. I've been doing a lot of great things. Like I've been doing therapy every week. Good. So that's been a new thing for me. That has opened up.
This is per our episode too.
Yeah.
with Dr. Toll. Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say to anybody who feels that fog mindedness a lot in the mornings where you just feel so clouded, and do therapy. At least try it every week for a month. It will make even if you don't stick to it, it makes a big difference, and it helps you figure out what other patterns that you're doing. And also, I think the one thing I love about my therapist, I'm not going to give her name yet because I don't know if she wants to be, out there yet.
Yep.
I'll ask her next time I have her session. But I know that I love that she's a trauma therapist. And so she does a lot of great tools, cognitive, teaching tools to add to your tool box when you're getting in a certain way. And also she helps figure out the patterns that you need to stop, or the patterns that don't serve you. Let me say don't stop. It doesn't serve you.
Right.
So she's been really great. So ever since I've been doing that, I feel like even though you know how you feel super, super busy, we talk about that all the time. I don't feel overwhelmed anymore. Like now I'm like,
good.
I can't do all of this, but I can do this. And I feel fine with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
And it's funny
yeah.
because I think we talked about this on one of our episodes too. The reason why
Yes.
we feel some anxiety or we feel stressed, it's not so much about what we have to do. It's more so that we're actually not doing it. And how do we get through that blockage of not doing it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She helped me with, so this is one of the things she told me to do. You know how we always set up a year, like 12 months, 6 months, or 3 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
She taught me something way different. She's like, do something, like figure it out, like, what do you want to do and what do you need to do? And also 3 months, 6 months, 90 days, and there's another one like 120 days, and then a year. Oh. And if you don't finish those things, you have choices. And that's what I love about her process. It's not about getting on yourself like, oh, I didn't finish. Like if you didn't finish something, right? Like an audition tape.
Right.
Oh, I didn't finish it. It's about not getting on yourself, giving yourself grace, but writing down, why didn't you finish it? What's going on with you? How did you feel when you were in the process of, I'm going to do it later. I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? So when you write things down, you figure out, oh, this is a time, and you write dates. So she's always letting me know, like, write the dates so you can figure out what's going on. Because she was like, every month is different. So you know how you be like, I'm going to get this, life happens.
Right.
So it might be like, that's not your life right now. Right. So you might need to always reevaluate every month of your life, because sometimes your seasons could be different just in a matter of a month.
Right.
So,
and and the external environment could have something huge to do with it. Like we say, the pandemic, who knew that was coming in a way that it came? So it stopped everyone's plan. You know?
And we're all playing catch up in a way.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm learning to stop doing, is stop playing catch up and know that, what do I want right now? Don't play catch up anymore.
And what's realistic? What is realistic to accomplish, right?
That's the main thing. I feel like that's what I'm really learning, is what is realistic?
What's realistic?
What is really realistic?
Right.
And what do I really want to do?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I love that you said that, because
that's so true, though.
That is so true, because a lot of things, it's like we put so much in our planners. It'd be like, I can't, like even today, right? So I was just like, oh, we need to do this at this time and stuff like that. Like, I just trying to get a lot of things done, like got the eyebrows done, you know, trying to get my nails done.
Right.
And I noticed my nail tech wasn't there. I'll see you tomorrow.
Right. See, if this is what, and I hate to say it keeps going back to the pandemic, but it does. We can't keep judging our life and making our life like it used to be, because it's not the same. There are too many other factors that have happened between last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Life as we know it is no longer there. The person may not be there. So then you just got to go with plan B. I'll have to come back tomorrow, or I have to make another appointment.
Yeah. Because I don't have her number. Oh, I'm sorry. I got a little bit Pisces. It's raining. Because I'm like, oh, I love the rain. I love the rain when it rains. But no, that's what I'm learning. It's just that at the end of the day, like, don't get upset. Just keep moving. Like, keep moving. And that's what I did. I ate my lunch. I kept it moving. I was just like, we're gonna keep it moving. We'll do it tomorrow. And that's that.
You're right. And me, say if I'm taking a drive and I have to be somewhere, the traffic like now is different from 2 years ago. Maybe there's they blocked off this road because there are too many cars, because there are too many people, because there are too many, like, you just have to think in a different way now and allow some other things to happen.
And I also feel like, I also think like a lot of great things happened during the pandemic, because I noticed that, I don't know if you were like this, but during the pandemic, I was going to bed at 7.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. Were you really?
Yeah. Yeah. You go to bed earlier, you rested. Yeah.
I don't know what was going on. Like, I just felt like my body would naturally I did what I had to do, and my body would naturally shut down at 7. And it was so easy to get up in the morning.
We talked about this in season 1 of our episodes. We said that we didn't feel like we were under the pressure to do so many things.
Did say that.
You know what I mean? So we allowed ourselves to sleep more, to take more time with ourselves, to be more gentle, or what was the expression that Dr. Tull used? Be kind to yourself, be gentle to yourself.
Yes, be kind to yourself.
You know, and we were doing that during the pandemic. That was a way we had to cope with everything that was going on.
Yeah.
So we went to bed earlier. We got the extra sleep that we hadn't been getting to treat ourselves better.
I've been going to bed around like 9:30, but I got up this morning because I've been starting back my workout routine, and I decided to start getting up at 5. And I noticed it was a little bit hard to get up, even though I went to bed at 9. And I thought about when we were talking about 7. I said, girl, you just got to go back to 7:30s. Yeah. Because back then I was like, let's go. And I'm like, back to 7:30s.
Yeah. But you got to know, I've been getting up early too. I'm not saying I do a lot of stuff, but but I find the peace in the early morning. And now I know why people like to get up in the morning. It's so peaceful. The city is asleep. There's nobody outside. My building's quiet. I'm at peace, you know, and I can meditate for a little while and collect myself.
That's how I am. Sometimes during the weekdays, I mean, I usually like to get a little bit of things done, like workouts, because I notice that if I do it in the evenings, I don't mind it, but I notice I get a little bit revved up. You know what I mean? Because of endorphins. But I notice on the weekends, I've usually been getting around 8 or 7:30. And like you said, it's so nice to have a quiet morning. It's just really beautiful.
It's really nice.
Yeah. It's just those things But do you feel like you're still catching up, or you decided like, I'm not doing that catch up anymore?
I feel like I'm still catching up. I think you hit the nail right on the head. Okay. And I'm sure everybody who's watching in the live chat, type into the box, let us know too. Do you feel like you're catching up from the pandemic? Do you feel like everything, like you're a step behind, and now that you're back in the workforce, or now that you're doing things, that you're one step behind and you're trying to catch up? Like you're always trying to catch up.
Well, in the workforce, I did feel like that the past 2 weeks. I was like, my feet hurt. I'm tired. I ain't got it in me. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I told myself, okay, let's just get through the next 2 weeks. Let's not write. Let's just meditate. Let's pray. Let's just do self-care. I brought some candles, and let's just rest, because there's no point of working out if you're not resting. Right. You know what I mean? Like, even though it gives you energy, it's just going to make you more tired. Or for me, it makes me more tired because I have to get up in the mornings. So it'll just make me more hungry, more tired, because I'm not making food for myself. You know what I mean? And I'm really trying to stop that going out and eating things. So, outside food. What is going on? Am I Harry Potter? Am I on the I feel like my laptop does not like me sometimes. It's funny. Like, am I flying? Where am I going?
You look like you're flying around.
Right.
That's funny.
And it doesn't look graceful at all. It's just like,
just spooky.
Yeah, creepy. It looks very spooky. Like I'm on, Harry Potter's Broadway show.
That's funny. I want to ask you too. You mentioned something before about your therapist.
Yes.
Do you feel like that the people in this country, everybody needs a therapist, because we're coping with two major things that have happened lately? One is the pandemic, which we always mention.
Yes.
And 2 is gun violence and race relations.
All the time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we heal? How are we going to heal?
I
just mean in general. I don't mean like talking specifically about gun violence
or
any of those things, but I just mean in general. How does this country heal? Because I feel like everybody, like I know, for instance, I just saw a clip on the news. Yesterday in New York City was the Gay Pride Parade. And there was someone posted a video of the crowd dispersing all of a sudden because they heard fireworks, but everybody thought it was a gunshot.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like everybody is so on edge with what's happening with all that stuff, that even if
Yeah.
fireworks go off, you're gone. You're like, you disperse.
Right.
Because
Well,
you
first
feel.
off, I
Mhm.
didn't know the parade already happened. Dang. I didn't know it happened already because I really wanted. I mean, they have the best parties were happening. You know, we're New Yorkers,
New
guys.
York,
It doesn't matter
everybody
if you're
goes.
gay, straight,
Yep.
whatever.
It's everybody's day.
A party is
Party
a
on.
party
That's
here.
right. Right.
A party is a party. I just feel like that's a really good question. What do you write in your book? You need
I
to
don't know.
write
You know
a
what I
book.
mean? I'm
You
just.
really need to write a
I'm
book.
curious.
You have the best like questions because okay, to make me define this, the first thing I thought about, and maybe that's because it doesn't have to be because you're Black, but you could be anything if it resonates with you. The first I thought about is when you do not feel like you belong here as a citizen. I think that's the first thing that needs to be addressed.
Okay.
And I'm not even talking about people of color. I just mean, I think anybody who tries to make a life here, even people from different Middle East countries, anywhere, I feel like when you don't feel like you belong somewhere, I think when you don't belong somewhere and you don't feel like you have a community, it's really hard to connect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And I think that's where the race relations even gets deeper with that. You know what I mean? But I feel like the only way, I think sometimes therapy might be a help because it helps you look at what you're doing. It helps you take accountability of what you've been doing. So maybe in the matter of people who, like, even let's just say we're not even talking about racist people, right? Let's just say we're talking about people who believe in, they don't believe in gun control. And they're just like, that has nothing to do with me, you know, like the Midwesterners or whatever. It would be nice if they did take therapy to understand empathy. You know what I mean? Like
sure,
that would be something great that people can learn in therapy and understand that they don't probably have empathy for people that either have been haunted.
This just came to me as you're saying that. Do you think that critical race theory teaching would help increase empathy in those people?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think that would help build a better relationship?
No, I think I'm gonna be honest, Marcos. I think we're honestly past teaching. I think it's just that, like, conversations now, I hate to say this. I mean, not hate, but I don't like to say this. I feel like we are so down the rabbit hole where it's just like, there's action now. It's just really action based. And I mean action based. And that's why I was saying, when you decide on there's a problem with your accountability, when you see a therapist, that there's accountability and there's action with that. You're speaking out loud what the problem is and what you have, you know what I mean? Like, and then you get to
So, but in
work.
terms of, okay, like that would be an individual situation, but saying like in terms of the whole country, like where would we begin? And I think that, you know, like I just said, that would be one way to begin, because I think knowing the truth of what this country is built on, I mean, we've already gone past the point of no return. Okay, so if you try to yield it back a little bit.
I mean, I think critical race theory would be great, but I'm wondering, okay.
It's not the solution for sure, but it's one way to help. I just,
but you know what I be thinking? I just be thinking like, okay, so to what magnitude do we get into critical race theory? You know what I mean? Like, how do we combat that? Like, what do we say? Like, okay, so like with that, like, what books do we have? Do we, you know, are we also talking about like all aspects of, you know, like enslavement? Are we talking about like when the Native Americans enslaved? Are we talking about
we're talking about everything. We're talking about everything, and that's what I'm saying. Those were the things that were omitted from our history books.
I'm just wondering, Marcos, with anybody listen? Would that,
It
like,
would
will
have to be part
people
of the
listen?
curriculum. It would have to be part of the curriculum. And I feel like that's what's been missing all these years. And now that we're at a point where people are raising questions about it, we need to own this history. Now, last night there was BET had the award show, and I watch all the
Yes.
award shows. So BET. So the thing that I like about BET is that it celebrates people of color and their achievements, and not necessarily the mainstream, because we don't always get
Yeah.
awards. We are equally as talented as other people, as Blacks, as Latinos, as whatever, people of color, but we're not always recognized because of the makeup of the people who are voting and judging, period. So BET, and this is why we have separate award shows, is because it was developed in order for us to get those accolades that we
Yeah.
deserve and recognize our talents. Now, I don't want to go all the way back because let me take it back, because we know, like watching Cadillac Records and all those things, we are the ones who bring the music, and then other
Yeah.
history, it's taken from
Motown,
us
yeah,
and made
all of that.
popular by, the white people. So shout out to white people. I'm just saying facts.
Right.
So
Not
kind of forgot-
everyone's an ally, and some people are.
Exactly. So starting out with the critical race theory, it would be a way where people start to understand what really happened, because a lot of people don't even understand what happened and the magnitude of what happened. How many bodies were lost traveling across the seas when they were kidnapped from Africa that, are now in the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't understand, the ones that got sick, they threw them overboard. Once they got here, they were deemed as property. They were deemed as 3/5 of a person. Like, these are things that people need to know in depth, and this is why, you have the award shows like the NAACP and the BET Awards, and Black History Month. And it's not, that you're just pro-Black. It's that these are things that need to be said for everyone to hear. You give out facts on those days. It's Black History Month every year, every day of the year, as far as I'm concerned.
No,
But
definitely.
it's just educating so people understand a little better.
Is this in schools or just colleges?
I think we should do in school, starting in grade school. People need to know. And that's where you can open dialogue between kids, and just, kids become friends. And it's, as you go up through the ranks, when you get to college, then you can have the specialized courses where you get more in depth if you want to have African studies or African American studies, or, specific studies on that. But I think that there should be a curriculum where that is integrated in the curriculum, that you learn about what happened to the people, not just Black people, but the Chinese who came here and built the railroads, the Japanese who were bombed, and we were all pitted against each other as people of color. Yeah. We have the same story.
Yeah, everybody. But that's what I'm saying. So, okay, this is what I thought about you.
Yeah, fire on the mic tonight.
Yeah, you are on the mic tonight. But even with that, right, it makes me think about how people get out of that things. So the people who are not the allies,
right?
They establish their private schools, and parents fund it, and all these other things, because they don't have to learn about anything. So how do we do about that? Will that be a mandate, like according to each state?
It could be if it's federal. If it's a federal law,
you know what I mean?
It would have to be mandated
because I believe that's how people get out of that stuff.
Sure, I agree.
They separate the schools. Because think about it, people who are even our allies, right? They don't have to learn about none of us because they segregate it. Right. Even, I hate to say this, like, I know a lot of people say America's not a caste system, but I'm like, to a point, it is kind of.
It is.
Like, it really is kind of a caste system. So what I'm saying is that, like, it definitely will have to be federal, like you said, because people set it up where they don't have to learn anything. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, they're not even, the only time they're in our neighborhoods is to like buy, real estate property and make money off of us. And that's it. But they don't have to be, how many people do we know, like in Upper West Side, who are just like in the buildings and, like who actually live there? You know what I mean? So it's just like, they definitely will have to do. I think critical race theory will be great. I think that'd be awesome to start as toddlers. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
I really think so.
I mean, I think you're never going to get 100% of the people, who do it anyway. You're right. The people that have money are always going to be able to do what they want. Money
They're always going
power.
to try to get out of something.
Right. Money equals power. And you have the money and the power to get out of it, then you don't do it. So those people are blatantly, opposed to, or racist or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, definitely.
Trying to keep it. So, but yeah, I think as a mainstream, I think it should be taught. And I think that, the more we learn, the better we are, because I think the racism comes from ignorance, and ignorance in the literal way.
Right, definitely. And I also think what would really help a lot is the arts. If there was more museums, like I live in Harlem, if there were more museums in Harlem that people would be, because they love Black art. Yeah. You know what I mean? I remember I saw when I went to the Basquiat King Pleasure. It's till to the end of September. So if you haven't went, Marcos, you need to go. I
will definitely go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need to go. Everybody was there. Everybody. Sure. So what I'm saying is, if there were more museums like the Guggenheim and all this MoMA, all this other stuff, MoMA, I feel like that would place them in our community, and they can start seeing we're not just objects,
right?
But we're actual people.
Well, that would have to work only. I mean, you could see it, but they would have to work with a talk back. You know what I mean? Where you're talking about stuff. Because we can go and look. I can go and look at art, and still not
definitely a talk back. But what I'm saying is,
but
but when you start establishing, the reason I say is because when you start establishing museums and money and culture, it puts it back into the community.
Sure.
So with the community, they start caring about what their streets look like. There's not trash everywhere. There's not dog. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha,
when you put money back, you get a whole new group of type of people no. You know what I mean?
Right. No, you're right about that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. When you put the money,
because
we all know
and all those
when
things,
there's a McDonald's and a Popeyes.
Yeah. Right.
It's very suspect.
It's very, very.
Because I don't see no Popeyes in the Upper West Side.
Goodbye.
I don't see no Popeyes.
No, you don't see Popeyes. You might see Popeyes, but you don't see Popeyes.
Yeah, but I don't see
no, you're right.
I see Sweet Greens. I see they even got Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
I see that, Bloomingdale's, no.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
I think we're both saying at the end of the day, if things start in school and in the communities, things would be way better.
Absolutely. Yep.
But it's all about us getting in there and running. Now we got to get into politics.
Right.
It's all about that. We need to get in there.
Right.
We really do. You seem like you would be great in it.
In what, politics?
Yeah, you seem like you'd be a great district. In New York, you seem like you'd be really great at it. You'd be knowing what you're talking about. You'd be great.
I would be okay. You know who would be better is my mom. Shout out to my mom, who's I'm sure watching this right now. Mom, you would definitely be good in politics. I know you don't.
Nobody said your mom would be good. What does your mama do that's amazing?
She does everything amazing. She's run her condo board. She was the president of her condo housing association for a long time.
Really?
Gets it done. My mom, listen, I'm going to have an episode on my podcast about my mother because I want to document all these things she did. She was the dean of a college, and she founded an organization called Youth Build, where she got kids in the neighborhood to go and build up the neighborhood, houses, physically build up the houses in the neighborhood to bring back to the community.
Wow.
My mom's bomb.
I love that.
Yeah. So, Mom, we're gonna have an episode. I keep saying that, but we're gonna have an episode. I was about to say,
you need to interview your mom.
Yeah, I actually want to do a documentary on her. I really want to do a documentary.
Why don't
She's got some amazing stories. Yeah, I will.
You really, you know what you should do? Do what other people do. They do the documentaries. They take their time and just do it.
Yeah.
So you don't get overwhelmed. You know how some people we be like, we gotta do it within a month. It'd be like, no. Because I remember the guy, what's his name? Sam Jones. Mm-hmm. Did a documentary on this skateboarder. what's his name? It's an older white guy, skateboarder. I forget his name. The documentary took over 10 years. They just finished it. They just he just took his time. He was like, I want, and he was saying like he could get it done really fast, but he was saying like he just wanted to be perfect. Right. Like he wanted to be like nothing has not been uncovered. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying with your mom. You can really take your time.
Mm-hmm. Sure. She
sounds like amazing. Well, I think she's amazing because she moved across the coast.
That's right.
And I think that's amazing because most people do not do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know,
got that right.
She's always up for an adventure.
She is.
Yeah. She definitely is. About Mama.
Well, guys, we want to know what you think about all this. We know we said a mouthful. The mic was hot today. Please.
It was hot.
It was really
Catch-up time.
Right? We just had to jump in here for a few minutes. Please make sure you check out our next episode coming up. Liz will be back with us. We have some more hot topics to talk about.
Yes.
Enjoy that. Please follow the show at OneMicNite. OneMicNite is spelled OneMicNite. And as I said before, you can now watch it on Spotify. Make sure you hop in here on the live chats on Tuesdays and Thursdays and chop it up with us. My name is Marcos Luis. You can find me at MarcosLuis.
I am Ashley Elizabeth Green. Please listen to us in the mornings on Spotify. I know I do because I've been noticing I love hearing things instead of always seeing, so I can just like multitask. So that's definitely hit us up on Spotify.
And how can we find you?
You can find me at Ashley Elizabeth Green. And as always, as I say, put in the DMs, say hi, check me out, do whatever. If you're cute, you know what to do.
That's right. I also want to give a couple of quick shout outs for people who join us in the live chat all the time. And we really appreciate it. Shout out to, of course, my mom, Fran House. Shout out to Miss Betty K, who comes in there. Katanya Fernandez. John T, you're always in the building. Michael A, thank you for always jumping in there and giving us good conversation. Michael McNeil, same thing to you. Nuvia hops in there and gives us some good information. And shout out to Style by Stevie. Make sure you check out Style by Stevie, who has lives on Instagram, interviewing some of the hottest people in show business daily. So go check out Style by Stevie.
Yeah, y'all guys are the best. I love the live chats. Y'all be like,
that's right. We want to thank you guys all for the support, and we'll check you out next time. Thank you for joining us. OneMicNite Talk. We're out.
Bye. Au revoir.